Matilda. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm glad to see you. That weather last night with the tornadoes. Thought we were going to have to cancel today.
I was in my tub. Like, I wasn't going anywhere.
Oh my gosh. Well, besides surviving a tornado, what's been going on since the last session?
I mean, tornado was bad.
Okay.
But then, like, the issues with my boyfriends are worse.
So you're having relationship issues?
Yeah.
Is it something you want to talk about?
I'd like to if that's okay.
Okay, of course. I'm going to add that onto our agenda, and we'll get to it for sure.
Thank you.
No problem. Is there anything else that you want to discuss today?
I'm sorry.
You're fine.
I've been working on, like, my lazy tendencies that we were talking about last time.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I'm actually going out there and doing stuff now.
Things are getting better?
Yeah.
So your mood that was once so low, you feel it increasing?
Yes, absolutely. Like, I actually want to go out and do stuff after this.
Perfect.
That's
Well,
how much I like it.
then let's put that on the agenda, because if you're making progress, that's something that definitely needs to be discussed.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Is there anything else that you specifically want to talk about today?
Not by the day, honestly, no.
Okay. Then come over here beside me. Let's look at this agenda together and see if you're okay with this. First, let's talk about the homework from this past week, dealing with your low mood and doing activities that make you feel better.
Mm-hmm.
You said that you've made progress, so we'll talk about that first.
Okay.
Then let's move on to this situation with your boyfriend. I know that things are usually pretty okay, and he's been really helpful. So let's dive into this and see what components are there.
Mm-hmm.
And then if we have time at the end of the session, let's look back at your previous issues with anger outbursts and just talk a little bit more about that. You haven't had one recently, right?
No.
Okay, perfect.
Right.
Well, then we'll put this at the bottom, and if we get there, we get there. And if we don't have to talk about that today, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, and so the schedule, it looks okay for you.
Oh, it does.
All right, perfect, good deal. So in our last two sessions, we talked about your low mood, your low level of energy.
Mm-hmm.
On a lot of days, you didn't really want to get out of bed, do anything. You didn't have any hobbies or activities that you really enjoyed doing that made you look forward to the day.
Mm-hmm.
So to react to that, we discussed activity logs. I know you enjoyed them.
I do like this.
Writing down your activities during the day and then rating them with how much pleasure or sense of achievement you get out of those activity logs.
Mm-hmm.
You completed the week's worth of activity logs 2 weeks ago for your homework,
Mm-hmm.
and we went over those together. I have mine right here. Do you have a copy as well?
Yeah, actually, I do.
All right, good deal. We went over those and we made some determinations. Do you remember what those were, what we figured out from your activities?
Spread them out so we can look at it later.
Of course.
I found out that I'm actually a lot happier doing one-on-one things as opposed to being in a group. Like hanging out with Claire. I've told you about Claire.
Oh, I know about Claire.
And Justin, my boyfriend. So it's just like hanging out with them like one-on-one as opposed to a big group.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I want to go do stuff.
Which is really interesting because you thought the opposite about yourself when you first came in.
Absolutely.
So the activity logs were helpful in making progress and understanding yourself and what you did. Perfect. That's exactly what I remember, what I recalled. I just want to make sure that we were on the same page with it. And then from that determination that we made from your activity logs, we were going to try to take those one-on-one activities with Claire, a family member, or your boyfriend Justin, and add 1 hour of one-on-one time per day and see how that affected your day overall as your homework for this past week. Were you able to do that?
Yes. But did this count as my homework for today? Are you guys still back?
No, this one doesn't count.
Oh, okay. I thought I'd at least try.
So what did you find out from that homework?
I found out that the more time I spend with like Claire or Justin, or let's say my cousin Caitlin, like I feel good. Like I want to go. Like I even went to the gym last week. I got homework done in advance. I'm going for a jog after this.
So doing these activities that make you feel good motivates you in other areas.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad. I'm really, really glad that you had a great experience from it.
I haven't even touched The Sims in almost 2 days.
And that was one of your goals, to limit computer time. Great job. Is there anything that you would have done differently with this homework assignment?
Okay. I would not have spent one-on-one time with my boyfriend where there's other girls.
Oh no. Why do you say this?
Well, honestly, do you really want my opinion?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we went to the mall the other day and he was looking at girls after we left the store, like waving and winking. I'm just like, why are you doing this? And he got frustrated at me. I got frustrated at him. And it makes me feel like I'm not good enough, I'm not pretty enough, and he just wants to leave. I'm like, what can I do to be better for this man to not look at other girls?
So I know that you just mentioned that you were having feelings of inadequacy.
Yes.
You seem frustrated with him and maybe with yourself. Are there any other feelings? This is what I'm hearing. Just inadequacy and frustration. Would you say that you were more upset or more angry, or even both in this moment at the mall?
Angry, trying not to cry, also trying not to yell at him, which I'm sure you've had your boyfriend, so you know it's hard.
It can always be hard. Okay. So you have the idea that when you're hanging out one-on-one with your boyfriend in a public setting where there are other females, that he's looking at them and thinking that they are prettier, funnier. Would you say
his dream catch?
So a better catch than you?
Yeah.
Or you are his dream catch as well?
No, they are.
They are and you are not?
I'm not. I'm at the bottom of that totem pole.
Okay, and with these feelings, with this idea that you hold, you have the feelings of inadequacy, frustration, anger, even sadness.
Yeah.
And
I just won't cry a lot.
So besides crying, are there any other consequences that come with holding this belief that causes these feelings? Are there any other effects?
I mean, I get a bit resentful. I mean, who wouldn't?
Of course, like
and then he gets frustrated because I'm very kind of like standoffish. I'm like, I don't want to be close to you right now. Like, you're looking at other girls. Like, just don't even look at me.
So how does he react? What are the consequences, even not in that moment? Yeah. What are the consequences of holding this belief to be true with your boyfriend?
He gets frustrated. He looks at girls even more. Like, he eggs it on.
Okay.
Just because I'm frustrated with him, he gets more frustrated and kind of like makes me feel even worse for feeling that way.
And does he hold these feelings of frustration, or do you hold these feelings of, inadequacy, frustration, being upset, angry, resentful, sad? Do you carry those on past the moment where there are other girls? When you get home and there are no other girls there, do you still feel that way? Or is this isolated to when the other girls are present?
I like to say no.
Okay.
I love to say no, but I carry it with me. Like, I have right now, it's on my shoulders.
You're carrying it?
Yeah.
Do you think that affects you? So there's consequences of these situations that are long-term, ongoing?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, and is it the same thing with Justin? Do you think that you believing this to be true and the emotions that are associated, the effects of those emotions are long-term for Justin as well?
Yeah, I think they are.
Okay. So now that we have established these emotions from these situations, how do you right now deal with them?
Well, we talked about anger management earlier, so
right,
not very well.
Of course. Let's say you're at the mall. When you were at the mall this past weekend and you were feeling this way, what did you do?
Honestly, I let go of his hand, looked at him, and said, "What do you think you're doing?"
Did you stay right there with him, or did you leave the scene?
Like, we were still standing there, in front of the store. I can't even remember what store it was. I was so mad.
So you stayed with them the whole time, or did you?
I did until I got to the point where I just needed to leave. I just needed to go.
And where did you go to?
I need to go to the bathroom.
So you went to the bathroom and you cried?
Because I knew he couldn't come in there.
I see. Okay. And is that what you typically do? Is that how you typically cope in these situations?
Yes. I try to just excuse myself to any room, like a restroom, a bedroom, something to where I can just cry it out, I guess, is the best way to explain it.
Does that work usually? Is that helpful for you?
Sometimes, but not always.
Not always. Okay, let's take just a second. This is all good information that you're giving back.
I can give you too much sometimes.
No, that was fine. Let's just take a second to step back and look at this situation in the long term.
Yeah.
I know that you and Justin have been together for quite some time now.
Sometimes too long.
Let's say that you all go on a vacation, just you two together, or you get married. Mm-hmm. You're in a situation where you cannot excuse yourself to the mall restroom, mm-hmm. To the restaurant restroom. Do you think that crying in front of him would be an option, or do you have a better way to deal with this right now?
I do not have a better way. I have nothing. I don't want to cry in front of him.
So your two options are to leave the situation,
Yeah.
crying, or to cry in front of him, and neither one of them seem to be working for you.
Neither are. No. I'm going to try and avoid both of those.
Okay. Okay, so I want you to do something for me for this next week. When you're in these situations where you feel overwhelmed and you have all of these emotions because you feel and believe that Justin thinks other girls are a better catch than you, use what we call the distraction method.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard of this before, these tactics, these distraction techniques?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, that's okay, because there are several options of things that you can do.
Mm-hmm.
The first would just be to, when you feel overwhelmed and like you're about to cry, that you need to excuse yourself, start counting backwards from 100. If you get to 20 and you feel like you're not tearful anymore, then you can stop at 20, or you can keep going on down to 0. Another option is to start counting things that are, what's your favorite color?
Purple.
Purple. Start counting things that are purple around you. If you're in the mall, let's count people with purple shirts on.
Mm-hmm.
If you're outside, see, I was going to say how many purple cars you can see, but I don't think there are many purple cars. What about red? Red cars.
Yeah, sure.
Count how many red cars you can see. Just keep your mind focused on something else besides these feelings of inadequacy in these moments with your boyfriend one-on-one.
Okay.
Another thing you can do is have a vivid mental memory of you and Justin that's positive. Let's say you all are at the beach or your first date. Think of what you saw, what you heard, what you felt, what you smelled in that moment. Make it as vivid as you can. Just focus your mind on it so you can't think about anything else.
Hardee's cheeseburgers.
Hardee's cheeseburgers.
It's our first date. What can I say?
Do you understand how this would be used, how this would be applied to your situation?
I really like that since it's one name. Make me hungry too.
So you think it could work and you could do this at least one
absolutely.
time in the upcoming week?
Absolutely.
Okay?
I'm sure I'll be mad, so yeah, it'll work.
And that's okay if you are mad.
Yeah.
And then when you come back in the next session, now that we're aware of these feelings that you have, because you may not have even been well aware of what was going on, we are going to discuss the feelings that you have in these situations, where the feelings come from, and how to deal with them. So these distraction techniques, they're a coping strategy. It's not going to fix the problem.
Okay.
So let's just try it for next week. That way we can take the symptom of crying and feeling overwhelmed down, and then we'll work on the actual issue next time.
Okay.
Does that sound okay to you?
Yeah, those sound good.
All right.
I think I can do it.
Good. I know you can do it.
I'll
At
try.
least one time, I know you can get it done, okay?
Okay.
And then you can report back to me, and if it works for you, then we'll keep going with it. If it doesn't work for you, then that's okay too. We'll try something else.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay? Well, unfortunately, you heard the timer go off.
Yeah.
We're coming to the end of our session. We're running out of time. But before you leave, let me just check in with you. Do you think our time together today in this session, do you think it was helpful?
Yeah, I actually got to talk about how I feel as opposed to just putting in that box.
Well, good. That's what we're here for. So as long as you're feeling like that. Is there anything, though, that you would suggest or that we can do together, or you can do independently, or I can do independently, that would help you progress or develop even further?
No, it's like you pretty much get everything you want in like every session, so I think I'm good. Other than just like doing what I'm supposed to do by following what you say. So.
All right, good deal. Well, just work on that for this weekend, and I will see you next week, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Bye.